What's up, girls? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. Today we're doing episode 51 of my series Dear Diary. Dear Diary is my Devo or devotional video series here on my YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe for 5 Devo videos every single week. I upload a Devo video at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. That way when you get off of school or before bed that night, you can take some time to watch this video and kickstart your personal time with God. But let's go ahead and get into today's Devo. Go ahead and grab your phone and pull up the YouVersion Bible app. It's a free download. Or grab your regular Bible and turn to Psalm 51. Pause the video here so you can actually go and read the chapter. And then when you've unpaused the video, you've already finished reading the chapter, we're going to talk about what God was showing us as we read this chapter. Alright, now that you've finished reading Psalm 51 on your own time, I wanted to share the verse that really popped off the page the most to me when I was reading Psalm 51. And it's verse 5, and I'm reading it in the NIV. And it says, "Surely I was sinful at birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me." And you're like, wow, that's kind of a Debbie Downer verse. But I wanted to talk about what that verse is saying. If you read Psalm 51 on your own time, like I really encouraged you to do, you notice that David was writing in this psalm about sin. That's kind of the theme or the focus of this entry in his Dear Diary, right? He's saying, wow, I have sinned really badly this time, God. And he says this one-liner right here in verse 5, "Surely I was sinful at birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me." And that's kind of one of the core, foundational things you need to understand when you're trying to understand why we need to get saved or surrender our lives to Jesus Christ in the first place. The thing that you need to know is that every single human born in the entire earth, in the history of all mankind, we were born into sin. Adam and Eve were the first humans ever, and when they decided to use their free will, which was a gift from God, to make the decision to disobey God, they brought sin into how every human would live their lives from now on. You may think, whoa, little babies don't go around and sin. But you know what? Sin comes from kind of like this self-centered nature that every human has. Adam and Eve, they wanted to do what they wanted to do. They were told, you can have any fruit from any tree in the garden except for one. But if you eat from that one tree that I've asked you not to eat from, that's what God told them, you will surely die. Sin will enter into your life and you will be separated from me. And you know what? They decided that's what they wanted to do. More than please God, more than do what He had commanded them to do, they decided the temptation is too much. I want to try that fruit. I want to see what it's like. I want to see what I'm missing out on. And that's every human being. We have something inside us, even as babies, 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and it says, I was told not to pull the books off the bookshelf, but I want to do that anyway. That's what I used to do when I was a 1-year-old. That's what my parents said was the first thing I ever did where they knew I was purposely not doing what they told me to do, is I love to pull all the shelves off the bookshelf, which is not a bad thing in itself, but my mom and dad both told me, Anna, don't pull the books off the bookshelf. Well, they said this one time, I looked over at them and I looked at the bookshelf and I looked at them and I was like, oh yeah, I am pulling these books off the bookshelf. And I was pulling them off and pulling them off, and I was like, I don't care, I want to do what I want to do. Now, when you think about what it means to get saved or give your life to God or become a Christian, I've made an entire video about that where I talk about why we need salvation and how sin separates us from God. That's one of those things that you have to understand when you're trying to decide whether or not you want to become a Christian. And so I'm going to link that video below, and it's going to really walk you through more of what I'm talking about today. But that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow, Thursday, for another episode 52 of my series Dear Diary. And don't forget to share these videos on your Facebook page or your Pinterest or your Instagram, and give this video a big thumbs up if it helped you out. Alright, see you Thursday. Bye.